Hello there, guys. Welcome back to my channel for yet another live stream by myself. Although I'm not just by myself today, I will, bring this special guest that isn't also special anymore because he's been on a few times, but he's still very special because he's a cool dude. But I'm getting sidetracked here. Anyways, we're here again. I do apologize. It's been a little while since the last stream, since after the Sheffield United game. But the international break, we take a little bit off a break for ourselves as well. But I feel like there is so much to talk about, especially what I put in the title, what is on the thumbnail about Christian Pulisic. Because to me, it is actually a little bit worrying. But there are so many other things that I want to discuss. How will Chelsea do against Newcastle without Thiago Silva? How have all the Chelsea boys done in the international break? Mateo, Kovacic, Olivier Giroud, Billy Gilmour, now currently playing for the under-23 side of Chelsea, under-21s, whichever it is. So much to talk about. But like I just said, not doing that by myself today. I am joined by the man himself, the grand Dammy himself. Mate, how you doing?
What are we saying? That's a bit dead of an introduction for myself, but what are we saying? Man was dabbing, 2015, that's mad. But now we're good. What are we saying? I'm glad to be back. Man is a bit tired, as you can see in the eyes. But yeah, let's chat about some football, This international break has been so long, bro. I don't know how you've managed to cope. Because I've been really mad.
It's been real long. I mean, there's just nothing going on. Like, obviously, there is, some Chelsea players doing their thing and playing their games, and Giroud scoring and Kovacic scoring, and last night an absolute madness of a game between Spain and Germany. But it's just not the same, is it? But I won't lie, hey, a bit of a break, I don't mind sometimes. I don't mind, but we're getting back into it, and there is so much to talk about. Where shall we start, Demi? Where shall we start? How about we start with Billy Gilmour himself? Because I thought that was a little funny thing that happened there. Did you see what happened with him playing for the under-21s of Scotland?
With the red card?
Yeah.
Football has gone soft, man. And also big up Mohammed in chat. I see you, my G. But, man, honestly, I can't lie to you. When I saw that happen, I was like, the game's gone soft. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can't curse at the referee. You can't really make too much noise about that. But at the end of the day, the game has just gone so soft. I've not seen a red card that soft in such a long time. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you getting the red card in my mind was like, all right, that means my guy gets to rest. You don't need to play that second game type thing. Because obviously we've had a few injury scares this international break. But nah, man, when I saw that, I was a bit frustrated. I can't lie to you. But it shows my boy's got a bit of grit in him. It shows he's got a bit of grit in him.
It's true. First of all, it was great to see him back because obviously he was out for a while with a torn meniscus, was it? He was out for a while. That was his first game back. A little bit disappointing that he was sent off after 7 minutes. So he came on in the 63rd, was sent off in the 70th. So it's a bit silly. And hey, you're right. Crazy red card. Obviously, we don't know what he actually said to the ref. I just can't imagine he got sent off for the tackle because that was barely a foul, let alone a red card. So he must have just shouted something at him, which was a little bit crazy. And yeah, good shout by someone in the chat. Again, I'm just you might have to just text me on like Insta or whatever or Twitter. Just tell me how to pronounce your names because I'm just going to butcher them. But Ben Chilwell, obviously. Ben Chilwell, there was a bit of an injury scare, but it seems to be a little bit better right now. But, how about we talk about that right now? Do you support England, Dammy?
Of course. What are we saying? Like, if I'm not talking Nigeria, which is the home, but that's where the passport is, in it. But, like, obviously, like, we do support England. That's where we are, in it. So,
exactly.
So obviously, that game, man.
Yeah, England playing again tonight against Iceland, but already played against Belgium. And what was the other game? Against who was that?
Oh, who was the first team we played? I can't remember who we played. The one we won 3-0.
I think so.
Yeah.
Mount played as a DM almost, which was a bit strange, but worked out well. So, that was that. And in the last game against Belgium, Ben Chilwell started the game and was forced to be subbed off after 38 minutes only, with a bit of a back problem.
It was Ireland, by the way. Ireland,
that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, Ireland.
But yeah, Ben Chilwell was forced off against Belgium with a back problem, a back spasm, which we know a little bit too much about through Room Loftus Cheek. So I hope Ben just called up Rubes and just asked for a couple of yoga tips because, just sort it out. But, he was back in training 2 days later. So I think we're going to be fine. I don't know if the lineups wouldn't be out yet, but I hope he doesn't feature for England tonight, and then he should be fine against Newcastle on the weekend. That would be good. But, did you watch the first 2 games of England that took place or not?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did a watch along for the loss to Belgium. That was a disappointing game. I can't lie to you. Like, obviously, we had quite a few Like you had Mason Mount, you had Dyer. Okay, Mason Mount, Dyer. Who else was in that midfield? Mason Mount, Dyer, Declan Rice, and is it Liverpool Henderson? All four of them in one midfield. What sort of sauce are you trying to pull up, fam? That's like salt and pepper and water. You're not going to get anything. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit mad. Like I don't understand what Southgate was trying to do there. But
that's like when Lampard played Jorginho and Kovacic just DM a double pivot, I guess, and then Barkley and Mount on the wings in a 3-4-3.
And exactly. And I'm like, what are you doing? At least Jorginho, Kovacic, I mean, they've got something. Barkley can do something. And man has a lot of energy. But now, let me not even talk too much about that England game because I was so pissed off with that lineup. Obviously, the first game, there was not too much going on. Reece James, Mason Mount, they played quite decent in that game as well. Do you know what I mean? Reece James playing as well as he normally does. And then Mason Mount, it was okay. Do you know what I mean? Then the next game was just the shambles. And then you see Ben Chilwell with the back thing. I don't know if you saw my tweet on Ben Chilwell when that happened, but I was like, arrest everybody involved. I can't lie to you because everybody's getting injured left, right, centre. And I was worried. And I'm sure we'll talk about this later on. But I was afraid that, for example, Thiago Silva just played 90 minutes the other day. What's going to happen over the weekend? Obviously, we're playing against Newcastle, so do we really need Thiago Silva? But we're counting our pennies here. Like, when we saw that the Ben Chilwell scare, I was like, no, this better not be happening. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if did you watch the game when he was coming off? Because when I saw that, I almost shat myself. I can't lie to you.
No, I wasn't watching it. But I read it. I got the notification of Twitter. I was like, oh, no. Not again. Not another one. And, hey, it was scaring me.
Marcos Alonso type thing, innit? I wasn't ready to see that, man. I was ready to see that, honestly. But like you said, he's back in contention for the England squad today. I'm on my knees, literally. Look, I'm not on my knees, but I'm begging. I pray to God that man doesn't start this evening because if he does and he cops an injury, best believe man is going to go up to the England team and have a chat with Southgate immediately.
Yeah, the only positive if he does start is, okay, at least we know he's fine, I guess.
True.
That would be the only positive. But do need to shout out Mr. Mohammed here. We need 10K. You know, we breezed past the 7K recently. You know, already on 140 something. So love everyone that showed some love and that has joined the party recently. So of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Smash that like button if you're watching this right now. You know, the viewers will be coming in slowly but surely. It's a bit dead right now. You know, whether it's Twitter, whether it's the YouTube, not much happening. But hey, we have a bit of a chat. We see what's happening and you know, there's going to be a lot of things to talk about. You know, we just mentioned Ben Chilwell, and you just brought up Mr. Thiago Silva, which is something else we need to talk about. Of course, Brazil just played last night against who was it? Peru? No, not Peru. Someone else. I had it up earlier. Uruguay. They beat Uruguay 2-0. Pardon me. I do assume that was their last game's international break. I don't think they'll play again.
No, I don't think they'll play again because, like I was saying.
Yeah, this is a positive because at least last international break they played on the Wednesday night. At least this time they played on a Tuesday, which is a little bit of an advantage. But I do still think that Thiago Silva will not even travel to Newcastle on Saturday. It's the early kickoff. He only comes back tomorrow morning to the UK. We'll be jet lagged. We'll be tired. Play 2 full 90 for Brazil, which is crazy anyway. Honestly, these lot. I mean, I know they're playing World Cup qualifiers, and it's obviously they want to be at the World Cup. Yeah. But I mean, in general, that these international breaks are happening, the UEFA and the FIFA, like these men are mental. Like, look at all these positive test results at the moment. It's mental all over the world. Every team, like Ukraine, Switzerland, had to be postponed. Norway, Austria can't play Norway can't play their first team against Austria tonight because all their players have to isolate or whatever else. Like, it's mental. Why are we allowing teams to mix? Like, we have this athlete bubble everywhere. Every club, is well, it's true, but it's a bloody Nations League. Do they make that much money? I doubt it, you know what I mean?
I mean, but it's still a piss take, do you know what I mean? Because obviously, apart from the fact that, without assuming this pandemic wasn't there, because I have to remind myself, you can't use that word on YouTube, do you know what I mean? It just puts everything to crap. But basically, if a pandemic aside, look how many games are squashed together, do you know what I mean? Look at Thiago Silva, for example, on my podcast episode, my last one, I was talking to my coach and I said, think about it like this. Thiago Silva yesterday, finished the game of Uruguay. They played in Uruguay. That means today he's going to go from Uruguay back to Brazil, potentially maybe from Brazil to England, all on today. By the time he gets back, he's going to need to get tested and take a rest because obviously he just finished the game. And he's going to do recovery on Friday. You don't see him playing on Saturday, do you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And when you add all of that together and the fact that Christmas break is coming soon, not Christmas break, the festive period, there are going to be a lot more games. And the fact that there's a bloody pandemic going on, okay, now you've got players like Mohamed Salah that are out. Apparently, Kai Havertz is still out. I don't know why he's out, but I feel like that's the reason why. But there are so many different people that are just dropping left, right, and center, and then you still got them coming up for the international break. It's mad. I don't know, like, why. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? It literally doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you could say you're able to qualify for the competitions. The one that they're even talking about doesn't even really matter that much. Is it which one are they all coming for this next year? My point is that it doesn't even really matter that much, and then they're still forcing these people to come out. They are breaking up the bubbles that were there before. Then people need to come back, re-isolate, retest. It's a cluster. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. Honestly, I can't lie to you. It's a big mess.
It really, really is. Like it's genuinely a nightmare in my opinion. Like the whole South America thing, I feel like I'm not even that mad about that one, just because that is the case every year. Like that's all the same, really.
Yeah.
What pisses me off more about the European ones is the European teams for the last 2 international breaks have always played 3 games. They never played 3 games in one international break before. That's never happened. And they didn't actually miss any international breaks this season. Okay, they did obviously 2 at the end, but everyone did. Everyone missed games and played later. Okay, you know, they didn't have their 2 stupid friendlies in bloody June. All right, you'll be okay. They still had their 1 September, 1 October, and 1 November international break. So I can't possibly understand why they needed an extra game in all 3 of those international breaks. So
it doesn't make sense.
It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's mind-boggling. And to be honest, though, that's not even just UEFA and FIFA. They're like, surely they're not forcing countries to play a friendly. Surely you're not forced to play a friendly. If you don't want to, you don't want to, surely. Like, you know, obviously the competition games, they have to be held, I guess, but why are these, I guess the FAs of the respective countries, in England it's just called the FA, but the FA of every respective country, they should be held accountable as well to some extent. Like, why are these people playing? Like, you look at the England squad, Trent Alexander-Arnold is injured. You had Ben Chilwell coming off injured. You don't know who the hell else is going to get injured. There's so many people that are struggling. Who is it? Jordan Henderson picked up an injury. And who else? Joe Gomez picked up an injury. Like, it's just
basically the back line. The whole back line and most of their squad is out. Liverpool in particular. If you
exactly. I mean, it's good for us in a way.
But it's unfortunate.
That could hit us. At some point, that could hit us. And it's genuinely crazy. With the Brazil thing, like I said, just because we had that problem every year, while Luis, Willian, and whoever else were with the Brazilian squad, they were just younger, not 36. That was the main difference. Like, if, say, I don't know, when Oscar was like 24 and he was at Chelsea, he played Wednesday night and played for Chelsea on Saturday, but he was 24. It's not being 36. It's a bit different. So that's why I would be very surprised if Thiago Silva even travels to Newcastle, because I don't think the playing part is the issue. I think it's, okay, you get to London on Thursday. Like you said, you have to get tested and whatever else. You have the recovery period, and he probably takes part in training on Friday, but still. And then you're meant to probably fly out to Newcastle on a Friday evening. You have to, because it's early bloody kickoff, 12:30. Then that's the next thing. Because look at someone like West Brom. They don't have that many international players. Obviously, they'll have a couple. But they will, like, I don't know how many it is for Chelsea, but Spurs have 6 players at the training ground, 6 first-team players at the training ground this international break. And I'm sure at Chelsea it's not much more than that. It's a couple. It's Aspie, it's Tomori. Who else is there? Do you know what I mean? There's not many. And, you know, you have, you know, the likes of Marcos Alonso, but, you know, then you're really starting to struggle. Willy Caballero. But everyone else is kind of out on international duty. Why is the likes of Chelsea playing the early kickoff on Saturday? It should be some dead Burnley West Brom game, some West Brom against Leeds game. Like, the clubs that have less international players should be playing the early kickoff, not one with the most international players. This is ludicrous. And you know, obviously Klopp and Pep Guardiola spoke about this in the last game as well, after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer moaned about it. Man United playing the early kickoff last Saturday, or the Saturday before the international break. Then Spurs playing at 12, like even half an hour earlier than we were on Saturday. They played on that Sunday after playing on Thursday in the Europa League. This is crazy. Honestly, it's ridiculous. And then they're surprised about so many injuries. I mean, look at Liverpool.
Liverpool is in shambles right now.
Exactly. And City have these kind of injuries pretty much every season. Like, Laporte missed pretty much the entirety of last season. Aguero misses chunks of every season. Like, it's mental. Like, I don't understand why they're surprised. And I guess that brings me on to the main topic of today's video. Mr. Christian Pulisic, because even though he wasn't involved with the US national team, well, he did travel to Wales because that's where they had that camp, which I was initially a bit annoyed. I was like, why is he traveling? Until I heard that they were actually in Wales. I thought, man, flying out to the US for no reason. Go to Wales all you want, mate. It's fine. And he was hanging out with them lot, and it's calm. Then he travelled back to Chelsea and, wasn't involved in that friendly game. But his injuries are slightly worrying at this point because Simon Johnson of The Athletic said today he's expected to be out for another 1 or 2 weeks. And if that's 1 or 2 weeks of being injured, then you've got to give it another extra week from that point to get fit again, to actually play. Because if you could, like the guys started 1 game, I'm pretty sure, and came on in 2. Came on in Krasnodar, came on in some league game and started 1. All the other games, he's missed. Like, how can he possibly be match fit? So you need to give him some time. But it's a little bit boring. I did a little bit of research, right? The man has played 192 games in his career, but a lot of these were in Germany, some, non-professional games like under 19s, under 21s. So roughly 170 to 175 professional games of football. You know how many games he's missed with injury in that same period?
I'm guessing
45, roughly.
Wow.
If you add 175 with 45, you've got 220. 45 games of 220 total is 20%. The man has missed 20% of all games he should have been playing, basically. And the man's only 22 or whatever he is. Like, is his injury proneness? Is that a word? Him being so injury prone, is that a serious problem? And could it actually stop him from becoming a proper Chelsea superstar? Because at this point, you have to worry about it. I mean, we're into November. We're past the last international break, and the guy started 1 game. Maybe it was 2 games, but still, this is a bit mad. And like I checked, obviously, I checked on Transfer Market, and they didn't always specify which muscle had the problem. When he was at Dortmund, it was like torn muscle 5 or torn muscle this, torn muscle that. They didn't specify which muscle it was. But it's always the adductors or it's always the hamstring, one of the two. And it's not like he broke his leg. It's not like he tore a ligament. No, it's always muscle injuries every time. And that is a problem. And obviously there is some players that have these issues. Look at someone like Frank Ribéry. Look at Ian Robben. Maybe not when he was super young, but once he got to Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, they were always injured, always injured, and still had brilliant careers. But if you're injured that much, it's a little bit worrying, isn't it?
It's mad because, like, at the end of the day, when you look at the way he progressed at Borussia Dortmund, for example, his injuries are one of the reasons why Jadon Sancho came to be. And what I mean by that is I don't mean that Jadon Sancho was not always a good player, but what I'm saying is that his injuries paved the way for Jadon Sancho into the squad, which kept Pulisic on the bench for much longer, and they just basically got him replaced. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, when I look at those situations, I'm not sure why he keeps getting these muscle injuries. It's giving me Loftus-Cheek like back injury vibes. You know how Loftus-Cheek has always had injuries with his back. He's had so many injuries like as he's kept on going. I really hope Pulisic can come. I don't want him to become, what's that guy that played for Arsenal that was really talented? Jack Wilshere. I don't want him to become Jack Wilshere of the Chelsea team, because at the end of the day, if you look at all the things that he's able to do, look at him against Krasnodar. We were playing, was 1-0, nothing was really happening. He came on 1, 2, 3. We spoke about this on stream, didn't we, as well? We spoke about it on the stream. He came on, immediate impact. Guy did all he couldn't do. And like, we can see the talent, we can see the skill, but over time, if you're going to miss so many games, like you said, we're already in November. We're almost in December, fam. This is what? Today is the 18th of November, and how many games has he started in the Premier League this season? Like,
did he even start one? One.
Has he even started? Like, it's mad. And we played like, what, 12, 13 games? We're almost halfway there. Like, a lot of people are saying that, we're still early.
Started against Southampton, that's the one.
Exactly. So a lot of people say that we're still early to the season. Stuff is still building up. You might need to look at the whole situation and clock that we're almost halfway through the season. Like, it feels like it's been a short time because the year has been so long due to the thing that's going around. But we've actually gone through so many games so far, and Pulisic isn't playing as often as you'd want him to. So, fam, I really just hope this is not a Ruben Loftus-Cheek situation, because I do feel like he can cement himself on that left-hand side. You've obviously got Frank Lampard refusing to play Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left wing. He's moving Timo Werner there and putting Tammy. Tammy is good, definitely. He has been playing well. Werner, I don't really like him on the left that much, but Pulisic is the ideal person on that left-hand side, because he does something similar to what Ziyech does on the right, almost in the sense that they like to attract the opposition fullbacks, which gives enough space for, like, it allows our fullbacks to have one-on-ones with like the defender, whoever is defending against them in their own half. Do you get where I'm coming from? So he's that kind of player, and he's someone that we definitely need. And I do believe that if he stays injury-free, he would 100% be like I said last season, he was the only player that I felt deserved to start before our transfer exodus, which has happened. Do you know what I mean? He was the only one last season that said, all right, you know what? I don't care if you sign Messi. I don't care if you sign Ronaldo. I'm going to come out here, turn up every single time I play, which he has been doing most of the time. And the thing is, despite the fact that, how do I put it? Despite the fact that he's not like, he hasn't played that many games. He doesn't even turn up for every single game. Do you know where I'm coming from? So we really get these limited, isolated performances from him. He will do one masterclass, then another one there, then get injured. We don't really get too much of it. It's almost like an Aguero, if anything. Do you get where I'm coming from? Or
yeah, for sure.
Am I speaking a bit of sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. And I mean, we're not quite halfway into the season. We played 8 Premier League games.
Is it 8?
Maybe it's 9.
I thought it was like 12.
It's not more than that. But it's just, obviously the season started late, which obviously, otherwise we would be like edging towards halfway of the season. But it's 8 or 9 Premier League games, 3 Champions League games, 2 cup games that he's already missed. And like, okay, he didn't miss every game, but you get the point. Like it's a bit of an issue. And Mohammed, we do read the chat. If there is questions that just about fit into what we're talking about, of course we will touch on it. Let me just bring this one up. Freddie Marsh said, "Can Silva please retire from international football? Every break is unavailable after." It is a problem, but hey, the man wants to win the World Cup in 2022 with Brazil, so he's not going to retire, is he? Let's be honest. And, you know, the real Baba T said, we should manage him carefully till the end of the season, and then if he needs surgery, he should have the surgery, even if it means 2-3 months out to recover and be fit for long term. See, I'm not a doctor by any means. I don't know, and I don't know the extent of the injury every time, but as far as I'm aware, there is only certain things you can do about muscle injuries. Only if the muscle fiber is completely torn apart can actually surgery do something about that. But I don't think that is the problem that Christian Pulisic has faced so far. It's just consistently a little bit of a tear in the muscle, in different muscles, the adductor or the hamstring. So I don't think surgery, that's the problem. There's no like fix, even if it keeps him out for a while, there is no like simple fix to this issue, which is, you know, it's that is the tough one. And, you know, Mohammed has made a fair shot. Maybe I should make a Discord server and we can do a bit of a phone. Maybe I should go around to that. Maybe I will. Keep tuned in, and you know, we'll make that happen. But bloody hell, see, people are now talking about things that are actually relevant that I can discuss. Pulisic is an injury prone. We should, for another alternative, we can't count on him through the season. Not the best English, but we get the gist. I mean, it's a bit harsh, but that's essentially what I was getting at with my title. Is he too injury prone to ever be a Chelsea star? Of course, it's a bit early to judge. Yeah, he missed some of last season around New Year's. And then he came back after restart and was incredible, was by far our best player. And now whenever he has played, we saw that how much of an impact he actually has. But he's injured all the time. And
I was just going to say as well, like our squad is so shallow right now in terms of like out and out players for certain positions that him not playing and us getting a replacement would almost mean that if he still keeps on getting injured and can't stay fit consistently, then we're going to have another Sancho Pulisic situation at Chelsea. A lot of people are really going to think, oh, damn it, what you saying? You're waffling, you're speaking all lot of rubbish. But if you think about it, okay, we want people that can give us balance from left to right. I'm not trying to see another Hazard/Willian situation in Chelsea's ranks, because obviously you've got Hakim Ziyech on the other side. And I feel like Pulisic can sort of counterbalance that. He has the quality and the technique to be able to match Ziyech on the right and left-hand side in a different fashion. Callum Hudson-Odoi is obviously extremely talented, and I've been wanting him to play for quite a bit of time, but obviously he's been playing against like the smaller teams and like against the under-21s. We've seen him do that several times. A lot of people gassing up his different goals and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy that he's scoring. I'm happy that he's getting involved. But I mean, we've seen him do that against under-21 so many times. We've even seen him do better stuff. So what am I trying to get at? I'm not trying to see Timo Werner play on the left-hand side too often. I don't think Frank Lampard is trying to do that too often as well. But if Pulisic, like you said, rightfully, Laurenz, he's young, he's still young, but the way things are currently progressing, we are still going to eventually need to pick up. So, like, my point is, I don't want to see him replaced too early. We might have to replace him, but when that time comes, whoever comes in to actually do the replacing might get so into their stride that it will be too difficult for him to get back into the team. Do you know where I'm coming from? So I just feel like that's the way things are currently structured at the moment. So how long would you give him, though, till we go out and actually get someone involved? Maybe if Callum Hudson-Odoi turns up and starts playing more frequent and actually get some stuff in, then I mean, we don't need to go out and get someone, but till that point, I'm not too sure what we can really do because, like I said, he's extremely promising, very, very talented player. He's shown that he can take the game by the scruff of the neck and do something with it. But if he can't stay fit, then it's pointless. Sort of like Ruben Loftus-Cheek for Sarri in 2018, 2019.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one because it's so easy to say, oh, I give him so and so much time and then that's it because of how good he is. And I guess a big part of that will be how good will he be when he is fit. Before I say, we need to get rid of this, we need to get rid of that. But it is still part of why I said kind of all along in the summer that we need another winger if we got rid of Willian and Pedro. Because we only found one, but we got rid of two. And I get the whole, Timo Werner can play on the wing. I get it. But still, it doesn't solve the problem that Timo Werner isn't a proper winger. And, okay, he's doing all right there. He's still scoring his goals. Not playing well, but scoring goals, which I guess, yes, I agree, is the more important thing. But I still always thought we need another winger. Whether it was getting Benrahma rather than West Ham getting him or whoever else, I always thought we needed another winger. And is that because of Pulisic? Kind of, yes, because you're expecting him to be injured. I mean, that's his, fourth season of professional football, maybe fifth, I don't know exactly. And every season he's missed games with injury. So you kind of, I'm not saying you have to go into the season replacing him, but you have to go into a season knowing, okay, there is a good chance he will miss some games, a bit like Aguero for Man City ever since he's joined them. You know he's going to miss a chunk of the season and you need good enough backup behind him. And I don't quite think we have that, considering the one backup winger we have, the manager doesn't actually want to use.
Yeah, but the thing is, Laurenz, like you said, even with Aguero though, and I'm just like isolating what you said about Aguero just now, but Aguero would come back and score 10 goals in 3 or 4 games, 5 games, then get injured again. When he comes back, you 100% feel the effect of him coming back. Do you know what I mean? And it's something he's done consistently over his time at Man City. Do you think Pulisic is someone that can get that done? Obviously, he's done that against Krasnodar, but I just feel like he's so different in the sense that if you're going to have a winger, you're going to need that winger to build some sort of synergy with his fullback and then the LM that's going to be playing along those sides. You get where I'm coming from? Because that's what I feel would be the best situation to get someone that, or if Pulisic can stay fit and play there consistently with a striker, it's a lot easier because really you can slot anyone in there. Do you know what I mean? You can really, that's the one position where you don't need too much. Obviously, you need an understanding with your teammates, but the striker is the one that easily fits in regardless of whether they were injured for a long time or who they're playing against. But the winger, like I said, you've got Ben Chilwell overlapping and then you've got the midfielder that's going to play with them and they form their little triangles and that. I just feel like the longer we take it on, not the worst, but I don't know. I just don't feel like it's the same. It's kind of the same, but it's not the same from a tactical standpoint. Do you get what I mean?
I do get what you mean. And I mean, I can't fully agree with it because I think there's been plenty of wingers that have had injury problems in their career and come back in and, actually make a difference. And, if you're as good as he is, and we know that he is very good, and he has teammates that he still knows well and gets on well, I don't think it's that much of a problem to slot in and make sense with them. I think, I'm struggling for a good example here, but if, for example, he was didn't really fit into the group, say we out of nowhere had this star winger that was 36 years old, say, just in theory, that would be a problem. But because he's 22, he's mates with them lot anyways. Man went to a bloody holiday with the lot. I think it's fine. But, it definitely, it's a case of where we just need to hope that it gets better. And we just need to hope that, I don't know, either science advances or medicine advances and they sort out his hamstring issues, or we just find a different solution because, I don't know, do we need to change up how we're training him? But then again, the guy got injured in a warm-up ahead of Burnley. Obviously, you need to sprint in the warm-up, and, otherwise you won't get your muscles warm. But how can you be a footballer without sprinting? And if sprinting is where it hits you, it's a problem.
And that's one of his strengths.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going to run around and say, I'm criticizing Christian Pulisic. I'm not going to do that.
No.
But if he doesn't... But if he doesn't have the right diet, if he doesn't do maybe enough private stretching, if he doesn't do enough this and enough that, and I'm not saying he doesn't by any means, but if he doesn't, please do it, Christian. And if you don't, if you do it already, then I'm a bit. So that's why I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, so that there is a solution, rather than that he does all of these things already, but we're still screwed. So, you know, that is it is a tough one. And Ayiz King just said, "Can Odoi turn up?" Lol. I don't know why the lol makes sense there, but fair enough. He did again play for the young Lions, the under-21s, which is harsh on the kid. I feel like, why is he playing for them? Either just don't call him up or play him in the first team. Don't play for the under-21s, even if his age still fits it. I think that's a bit disrespectful, but fair enough. He scored. He did well. I didn't see any of it, obviously, because I live in a different country. I couldn't even see his goal because the BT tweets are location locked to my country. So I didn't even see the goal. I know he scored, but that's it. But Callum, it's a dodgy one. I don't know what's going on with him. I think we've spoken about him already anyway, but the guy needs some chance. And I still believe if Hudson-Odoi got 15, 20 games in a row, he'd be absolutely flying. But that must be some sort of reason why he's not getting games.
But can we spare that many games is the question. Once again, I don't know why he's not getting it, like you said, but can we spare that many games? Can we spare that many games? Like I said before, against the under-21s, my guy always turns up. Listen, when you got Callum on the wing doing all his madness left, right, center, did you see that cross he gave in? Oh, man, hit his mic over. But did you see the cross you put in for you didn't see any of the highlights. Did you see the highlights at all?
No.
Like, he was doing, he played really well, but once again, it's the under-21s. We've seen him do this for years. Like, it's been so long. It's not new to me. So I need him to do this on a consistent basis, okay? Against the top tier opposition. I just seen a tweet on Twitter, okay, from I don't know if you know Expected Chelsea, okay, and he's talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi taking shots and then taking them earlier than expected to the keeper. I'm like, why are we all forcing this? I don't know how to put it. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I don't want to judge this boy based on what I've seen in the youth setup for too long, because if we keep on doing that, we're going to keep riding on this wave where, all right, this man keeps on performing in the youth setup, so that means he's like at this level. But you've got like your Reece James. He was beasting, okay, in the youth setup. He got into Wigan. He beasted it there. Like we said in the last stream, I think, how many players can actually get a standing ovation on their loan when they are leaving? Not too many. So it shows you the quality that is there. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I would want him to play more consistently. Obviously, Maurizio Sarri said that he needed to be a bit more defensive work. And maybe Lampard feels the same. But as far as right now is concerned, 20 games. Does he have 20 games? My issue is, I don't know. I don't want to get back into this Lampard. Why is this Lampard starting to be? Because we've had it before. But at the end of the day, I don't know, man. Do you think he's going to start against Newcastle is the question? Because obviously with Kai Havertz being getting the thing, and then with Christian Pulisic out as well, do you see him playing? Because I don't. What could Lampard possibly do? Do you think we're going to play Kovacic, Mount, Jorginho, or Kovacic, Mount, Kante, and then you've got Werner on the left, Abraham in the middle, and Ziyech on the right? Is that what we're going to see again? Because I feel like Callum should be playing.
We played that against Sheffield United, and hey, we can't disagree with that. That was a brilliant performance. Even though Timo Werner wasn't actually that good in the wing, still got on the score sheet, and that was a great performance. So, and obviously we had Havertz and Pulisic missing for those games. So if those players come back fit, I'm 100% expecting exactly that team, and I don't think Hudson-Odoi starts. And that's exactly the thing. People hyping him up, even like Ben Stokes. I don't know if you're joking or not, but a lot of people don't joke when they say things how great Hudson-Odoi looks for the under-21s. We had this in the last or in the September international break already, and people were hyping it up, and he scored this and that great goal. People, you need to understand something. Bayern Munich offered a loan with an option to buy for £70 million.
Yeah.
And we're talking, some, not myself, but some people are talking him up like he's the second coming of Eden Hazard or even Ronaldo. And the guy's on, 120k a week, 150k, whatever his actual salary is. There's different reports over the years. And you're saying he played well against an under-21 side. Well, congratulations.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's madness. Why is this even anything to talk about? Like, I don't care what he does. Like, that's why I'm always infuriated that he even shows up on my Twitter timeline. Like, that's why I haven't seen the highlights. I don't care what he does against under-21 sides.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Ben. Exactly, like Ben, like I said, bro, like at the end of the day, and don't misinterpret what I said. He said, Dami, why should Chil play over Tammy? I don't think that at all. When it comes to like starting on merit, Tammy over Callum Hudson-Odoi right now is not even up for debate. Tammy has a goal and / assist return ratio of like, what is it, 1 every 59 minutes? one every 50 minutes. Those are stupidly good numbers. You know, I'm coming from. So Callum shouldn't be starting anywhere over Callum Hudson-Odoi, but no, I just reworded myself. Oh, man said he was joking. Say no more. But at the end of the day, like I keep feeling, I'm not even talking about the Timo Werner situation. I don't know, man. I just don't know. He does need to get those chances, but where are they going to come from? If you're going to have Pulisic injured, if you're going to have Havertz out, like he should at least get some minutes. And another thing I want to mention as well, Laurenz, you tell me if you disagree as well. There are sometimes when Callum comes on, okay, and he doesn't even play like as well as I want him to play with the short time he has. Obviously, you can't really expect him to do that consistently, but even in the Champions League, he didn't play as well. I know he scored a goal, but he didn't really play that well. Like, he wasn't really linking up to more, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's just something lacking. Like, we've seen him do it with the under-21s. He's done it with his mates. He can do it in the training. He can do it. But until he translates onto the actual pitch, it's like, I'm not sure, man. It's sticky. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the one, though. You say you can do it in training, but you have to do it in the game. That's the problem. If he did it in training, I reckon he would be playing. I think, because it's not like, he plays every game, but he's not performing. It's like he barely plays. Yeah. And I have to obviously give him that little bit of like benefit of the doubt, I guess, in the case of some players are different to others. It's not that easy if you never get game time, especially if you're like him. And obviously from the age of 8 to 18 or 17, played every single game, every single week for the youth teams. And out of nowhere, you're playing once every 2 months, pretty much. I understand that might be a bit of an issue and that might not be so easy. But at the end of the day, if he wants to make it, he needs to. Like, it's a tough business. It's not going to be like, we're going to pet you around for 10 years until at some point it comes good for you. It's a tough one. But Stefan Williams said, Chilwell is on a bench for England, thank God, which is great. Not starting. But it also means he's not injured. So it's good. I'm happy with that.
Really good news. We don't need to see Marcos Alonso bombing down the flanks. Do you know what I mean?
All right. Yusuf has had enough, mate. He said the whole narration about one question. Fair enough, mate.
Sorry, boss. You man are the bosses around there. We'll just wrap it up in it. But I mean, I hope you guys get the gist.
Exactly. But one thing I do want to discuss is the whole Olivier Giroud thing. I'm sure you heard it. The reports that came out that he will try to leave Chelsea in January. Obviously, he scored another 2 goals yesterday for France in their win over Sweden. He's now, I think, 6 goals away from Thierry Henry's record.
7,
yeah. No, I think it was 7, and then he scored another. So I think it's 6.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Don't quote us.
Regardless, whether it's 6 or 7, one of the two, basically. What do you think about that? You know, I see a lot of dodgy things on the timeline, and like they're basically sucking him off. And I'm like, all right, relax. He didn't do that much for Chelsea. He scored about 3 goals at the end of last season. We're hyping him like he was bloody player of the season. Relax. He had about 5 good games. Calm down. Like this whole like, he's so great. We have to give him everything he wants. I'm like, I like him too, but let's not treat him better than we did Hazard. All right.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think she's not on Hazard level, nowhere near Hazard level. But I think as a professional, as a sort of player, a lot of people might disagree with me here, but I think if we didn't have Giroud last season, we were not qualifying for the Champions League. Simple and short.
I agree with that.
Because I'm not even talking about you, but I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, because he did so much for us. Obviously, like, you could see him switching the leaders from Chelsea to Arsenal. Not a lot of people do that in the first place. But like I keep saying, bro, no matter, even when he breaks this record, as he's won a World Cup. I mean, the only trophy he doesn't have in his cabinet is the Champions League, right? He's won everything else. But I don't know, it's a bit mad, bro, because obviously right now, Tammy is playing so well. We've got Timo Werner up top. I don't really see him breaking those lines anytime soon. There are some periods in the game where I'm like, yo, Lampard, I need to see Olivier Giroud on the pitch because my guy can come on and do a Mazzardini, but you're out and leaving him on the bench. Do you know what I'm saying? There's not obviously, like I said, Tammy, Werner played quite a few games and they haven't played well in every game. And I thought there are some times where Giroud could have come on and he would have made a better impact. But at the end of the day, this loan that he's asking for, it's expected. Obviously, they've got like competitions next year and all of that. He still feels like he has, because Giroud's not the kind of player that needs like too much. He doesn't need pace in his game. That's not what his game is built on. It has never been built on pace. I mean, obviously, the older you get, the slower you become. But he's always been more of like target man type, chest the ball down, head that, like coming from link up type striker. That's what he's always been. And if he feels he can still do it at the top level in another team, then I can only respect him and say, "Aye, you know what, man, Ollie, I've loved all the work you've gotten done for us, but you can go ahead and move on now." Because, like, I mean, fam, I can't blame him for wanting to move on, but for me as a Chelsea fan, I'll be really upset with that because the fact that we have Werner, Abraham, and Giroud as our 3 strikers right now, I don't think too many teams can boast something as good as that. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people are going to listen to what I've just said and be like, "Oh, what are you on about? What are you on about?" Look at Timo, fam. Timo is playing stupendously well. Look at him scoring goals for Germany as well. Was scoring goals for Chelsea before the international break. Tammy Abraham is also scoring goals for us and getting involved. I mean, they're not really playing excellently well, but like they're getting the numbers done. That's what a striker's supposed to do. Then you've got Giroud, who can always rely on when stuff is rough. So it's mad, bro. It's mad. I can't lie to you. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole Giroud thing personally?
I don't. There's very few players where I have this feeling. I'm like, okay, if he wants to leave, let him go. Absolutely not, in my opinion. Absolutely not. Make the guy run out his contract. I don't care if he leaves for free in the summer. He's 33. It's fine. We're Chelsea. We could deal with Oliver Giroud leaving for free. I want all those 3 strikers to go to the end of the season. I'm not giving any players away and harming us for the second half of the season. Absolutely not. The guy's staying until the summer, and then he can go. If he doesn't want to stay for longer than that, that's absolutely fine. But if it was down to me, Giroud's not going anywhere in January. I don't care if he's upset. I don't care if he's not playing. You're on the contract at Chelsea. You know what's happening. You know, people in football don't seem to understand that if you're contracted, you're contracted. Like if you think about like actual work, you know, you have a 3 months time of like when you have to hand in your notice as well. If you want to quit your job, you can't just like say, "Oh, I'm off tomorrow." Most jobs that is the case. Just because it's football, you can't just say, "Oh, you know, I don't like it at Chelsea anymore. I'm not getting played. Oh, I want to go now." And this is not criticizing Giroud by any means. It's like we need him for the squad. We need him for depth because Werner needs to be played on the wing quite a lot. That's why I want Giroud to stay until the end of the season. And then I wish him all the best wherever he goes. But it's as simple as that. The only problem for Giroud, in my opinion, why he hasn't played at all this season, basically, is that Tammy Abraham has somehow drastically improved his hold-up play. And now, out of nowhere, Giroud doesn't really do many things that much better than Tammy anymore. Heading, yes. Pardon me. Heading, yes, I agree. But hold-up play is not that much better anymore. He's significantly slower. He can't pass the ball much better than Tammy can. And I'm like, well, what does he actually do now that he's better than Tammy, other than heading, obviously?
I still think Giroud. I think Giroud is the best target man in the world. Genuinely speaking, I don't see a lot of target mention. I do feel that. Yeah, if he's not the best, he's one of the best. I mean, how many target men that do what Giroud does can do it better than him? Yeah,
but
this is where I'm coming from. Like, I mean, like at the end of this,
do you want to put the cleaning lady in goal? Just because he's the best cleaning lady now.
But my point is that when you think about it, it's like, that's a bit of a dodgy statement. And I think it's a dodgy statement, but it's something that I feel like I could back. Do you know I'm coming from? There are not many strikers that can link up the way he does. Obviously, like you said, big up to Tammy for improving his game. I still feel like he's still very light on his feet for someone that's his height. I feel like he needs to obviously step correctly a bit more when it comes to like heading the ball, controlling the ball. Like I can't trust Tammy up front if we need to loft the ball forward from the goalkeeper. Do you know what I'm saying? I know we rarely do that, but I can't really trust him
more now. That's what I'm
saying.
I think it's better now.
I mean, it's definitely it's a lot better from Tammy right now. But at the end of the day, I just feel like I don't know, man. Giroud is still. I think I don't know. I definitely agree with what you said that people like to put in there and notices and everything about wanting to leave the club. Maybe he did do that before and the news is just coming out. Who knows? Because remember, he wanted to leave last January as well. He did make it wanted to leave last January, and then obviously Lampard convinced him to stay, and like it was a bit dodgy because like no transfers or anything. So he just stayed, and then he's still here. But now he's quite clearly the third choice, like as far as Lampard is concerned, and what we can see. So. And like somebody said in the comments as well, somebody said that Havertz can play as a false nine. He did play as a false nine quite a few times for Leverkusen. So we've got more options, and I feel like Frank would want to do that instead. But bro, Laurenz, I need to pattern up somebody in these comments. Cathal, when you say you want to wish injury on people, I don't condone that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, obviously I'd like to see Callum Hudson-Odoi play, but no wish on injuries on people, because that's not a nice thing to do in general, not just football related in general. Don't wish stuff like that on people because it's not a good look. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to come at you or anything, but I'm just telling you, don't move like that. It's not correct. Do you understand? Yeah. Keep it real, Magic. Keep it real. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, I don't feel like I just feel like him leaving is inevitable. And like someone said, he scored 7 goals in 10 games since he started scoring like again Tottenham before the pandemic. So he was obviously on really good form, and he still looks like someone that can play. But If he wants to leave in January, I mean, I don't think we can really hold him to staying. Can we?
Until the end of the season, we can.
Will he stay though? Is the question. Because like,
What's he going to do about it? He signed a contract.
I mean, but if he wants to bounce, he can bounce, innit?
Nah, see, that's why I disagree. I'm like, hey, you've got a contract, you can do 6 more months. I'm not saying force him to stay for 6 years. He's still getting paid like 100k a week for doing a bit of training, like two hours a day. Like, you know, he'll be all right. It's not like he's going to end in depression and crying himself to sleep. He's going to be okay if we don't let him go. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get that he wants to start for France, but the guy hasn't started for Chelsea in, well, all season and still starts every game for France. So I'm pretty sure that won't change. Mind you, there is only 5 more international games before the Euros start. Pretty sure in those 5 games, Didier Deschamps won't decide on a new France starting striker. Pretty sure he won't with how Giroud does when he plays. I don't think it matters much whether he stays or leaves for his spot in the Euros, personally. But I mean, we can't all have the same opinion, I guess.
Like I said, bro, I agree with you 100%. But at the end of the day, I feel like you said, he's not Eden Hazard where you can just bounce and be like, you're a boss, man. I need to dip in it. Like, man, done a bit too much for the club and I got to leave. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like, I don't know, man. I don't feel like if he wants to leave, there's no need to keep someone against. Because, like, obviously, you've had situations, and Giroud is a professional and outright professional, so I don't believe he could go ahead and do that. But I just feel like keeping a player against their thing is always not really a good thing long term. Do you know what I mean? Because they wouldn't really give their all, if you get what I'm saying.
No. I completely agree with that sentiment. It's just like, because of exactly what you said of how good Giroud is at doing certain things, even though TK13, in your opinion, made a good point. When Giroud has played for Chelsea this season, still plays well for France. But when he has actually played for Chelsea this season, he was actually poor. That cup game against Spurs this season, I thought it was shocking in that game, personally. And I don't know, did he even start another game other than that? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
So if that was his only start and he was poor in that, you know, and Tammy's playing well, Timo's playing well, why should he get into the team? But my only thing is, I'm not saying, like I said, don't stay forever. Stay until the end of the season, see out your contract. Because, like you said, there is not many people that do what Oliver Giroud does. So you're just not going to get a replacement. And in my opinion, Chelsea should always be more important than their well-being or their just being nice to players. Like, if it was down to me, I would have never let Petr Cech go to Arsenal. I don't care what kind of random promises Roman Abramovich made to him. I don't care. Let's stop selling players to our rivals. It's ridiculous. Obviously, not to do with Giroud here, but the point still stands. I don't like the fact that we keep granting these wishes of players. Like, just, it's only 6 more months. I'm not saying stay for another 5 years. 6 more months. We're in a better position if we have him around. That's my shout. But, you know, I think there's a couple more things I would like to touch on, but not that much. A little thing called Spain 6, Germany 0. Did you watch any of that game?
You know, I can't lie to you. I'm not one of them lot that I didn't watch the game, but I had the notifications on my phone. Jesus, Laurenz, it was mad. Do you know what I'm saying? When it was like 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Man watched the highlights, but fam, 6-0 Germany. What happened? Did you watch the game?
I watched. No, same. I turned it on after the 6-0 because I was like, this is crazy. And the thing is, Spain should have had a penalty. They had an offside goal disallowed that wasn't offside, and they had other chances because obviously there's no VAR in the Nations League. It was mental. And the last time, big ups to myself here, the last time Germany conceded 6 goals was against Austria in 1931, but we'll ignore that.
The shamelessness. Shamelessness.
See, now, Ben Stokes said a good point. Morata, the guy's on fire this season. The guy's doing
recently, Morata is always one of those players that, we all knew he was talented. Do you know what I'm saying? We all knew he had talent, but he wasn't like a gritty striker. The sort of striker they have to be like, oh dear. Like, we're not used to that at Chelsea Football Club. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You've got Diego Costa, bullish. You've got Didier Drogba, bullish. You've got Anelka, who had a bit of heft to him. Werner's a bit different in the sense that obviously he's got the mentality and he's very strong mentally. Not physically, but Morata was just, I don't know, bro. Like, physically wasn't there, mentally wasn't there.
I posted a picture of him blow drying his wife's hair.
If that doesn't scream stuff.
love your women, people. Love your partners. You know, we don't discriminate.
Mm.
Love whoever you want to love, but hey, you don't
like,
need to be blow drying your wives there, mate. Like, you don't need to be doing that.
Even if you want to do that, you do that in like, I mean, do what you want to do, yeah? Do what you want to do, but fam.
Man's just lucky that the simp meme wasn't around then.
Fam. Diego Costa will be using the knife to cut off his wife's hair, fam. That's the sort of man he is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's probably why Diego Costa doesn't have a wife, but you know.
Oh, guy's a madman. He's a mad horse. But nah, Ben Stoic speaking facts in him. Morata was looking absolutely mad yesterday. I don't know what came over him. Like recently, he's been playing quite well as well. I think he scored for was it Juventus?
Yeah,
he scored. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it 2 goals?
Champions League already this season. He's got 4 in the Serie A as well, I think. And he's had about 8 goals to set out for offside already this season.
As per usual. Offside merchant. That's what he is. But nah, man, big up to Morata, really. I can't lie. Big up.
One bad stat. I'm not sure if you saw my tweet about this last night, but Germany didn't have a single shot. We're not talking on or off target, just shot full stop until the 77th minute last night. Do you know how long Timo Werner was on the pitch for?
How long?
76 minutes. So literally the minute after he came off, they had the first shot, which doesn't look good. Obviously, I'm not saying he's at fault at all, but still, it's a bit of a bad stat. At least he came off and didn't play the full 90, so that's a positive. But yeah, that is a crazy game. What is also crazy is that, you know, the goalkeeper playing for Spain right now isn't De Gea, isn't Kepa. It's this kid called Unai Simon, who's the new goalkeeper of Athletic Bilbao. So you know how Kepa came to Chelsea for 80 million from Athletic Bilbao, and now his replacement is the starting Spain goalkeeper. Which
I don't know.
Absolute madness. But De Gea hasn't even been that bad for United this season. Why isn't De Gea playing?
I don't know what's going on with like those Spanish keepers. Like all of them just took a break after like a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? Kepa was decent 2018, 2019. I mean, we're all aware he broke up with his girlfriend, but I don't know, man. The fact that the Bilbao keeper comes in and replaces them both is a bit shocking in the sense that, I mean,
I don't even know if that dude has a gold card on FIFA. Like, do you know how far this... Imagine being starting goalkeeper for Spain, and I am not sure if you have a gold card on FIFA.
Oh my days. Oh my days. It's mad. It's mad. It's mad.
Yeah.
But at least he did a good job. Clean sheet. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. Mohamed Uzair. I have to pronounce your name. Sorry if I butchered it, bro. Keeping Drew on the bench too long is like keeping a tool out to rust. Even if you play him in the latter season as a sub, there's no guarantee he'll be as sharp.
That's fair.
But did you see last season? The guy didn't play a single minute basically until after lockdown, basically.
Yeah, but that's
that first game.
Well, I mean, with that one, you could see that there was a bit more motive, there was a bit more incentive to come on. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot more involved there. But now it's like you've got Werner ahead of you, you've got Tammy ahead of you, you're fighting with Kai Havertz, who already has a starting position. Like, it's a bit long, so he's really going to give it his all. Like I said, he's a professional, definitely 100% professional. But
for sure,
it's like. So I don't know.
You know what I'm seeing now? This StreamYard here, it's not even showing me all the comments. If I'm looking over here to the actual video, there's way more comments than I've actually seen. So let's talk about those things quickly. First of all, everyone is watching, 60 people still. Make sure you drop a like. We're at 36. We can get all of you to drop a like. Why not? Go down below, smash the like button. Doesn't cost you any money, barely cost you any time. And we just keep chatting here. Gonna go for a bit longer, but not too much. So, that's that. And of course, subscribe if you're new here. That'd be massively appreciated. And I'm gonna just go through a couple of things in the chat, because apparently I've just missed things. Who is more offside, Morata or Tammy? Pretty sure it's Morata. Joachim Löw, obviously the Germany manager, started Werner on the left and Gnabry up front. I don't know what he is smoking. Sane was crap as well. Yeah, that is a bit weird. Why would you play Gnabry up front and Werner on the wing? Makes no sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
A lot of Germany talk. Hummels, Boateng and Müller were egged by Löw, and in a moment, madness. Yeah, no, it's true. Like, did you know about this? He just eggs them from the national team when they're still playing every week for Bayern Munich and Dortmund, and the manager said, "No, we don't need them." And then he's going out to lose 6-0. What?
I mean, when you're choosing Rudiger to start for, when you put Rudiger into the national team, you're putting Werner on the left and Gnabry down the middle. It says everything that needs to be said. That's what's going upstairs. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit mad. Man's moving a bit too mad for my liking. But in my country, so I ain't gonna talk. Man ain't gonna talk too much.
Steve Grundy said, no, mate. Last time Germany conceded 6 goals was 1954 World Cup in Switzerland, Hungary, Germany 3-8. Well, I mean, that you might be saying that, but I heard the German media and the Austrian media talk about them last time they conceded 6 goals was against Austria in 1931. Maybe they actually meant
6 goals.
6 goals and not 8 kind of thing.
Lamin
is still watching from Italy. Hope you're doing well. Just half an hour down the road. Where from Italy are you actually? That's what I'd like to know. Kobe said, Pulisic's injury problems reminds me of Robin. We need to be careful not to make the same mistakes for letting Robin go. I don't actually remember this. Obviously, I was young. You were young as well. How was Robin very much so injured for Chelsea as well, or did that only come later in his career?
Yeah, the thing is, like, I did a bit of research on the Robin thing as well for like some stuff I had to do in the past, and he was one of those players that he'd get injured, then get back, then get injured, then get back. Then you can see how we all ended up one of the most dynamic and electrifying wingers we've seen in the past 2 decades on the right hand side. That left foot, absolutely legendary. Imagine if we had that over the last 10 years, man. We'd have probably won the Champions League more than once. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? So that person does have a point. Definitely does have a point. But that all boils down to how we manage the players as well and how we get them to like keep fit and stay safe. Do you know what I mean? So let's see. For
sure. There was one rumor that I heard for the first time today that apparently Chelsea might, kind of drop their interest in Declan Rice, but instead go for Jude Bellingham, which I thought was a bit of a strange one. First of all, the guy just turned 17, so it's a bit of a mad one. And I know he's doing actually all right for Dortmund, but I genuinely don't know nothing about him. Like, I know he played for Birmingham, obviously Birmingham City in the Championship last season, but I genuinely don't know a single proper thing about him to like judge whether he's like good or not or whatever else. So,
I don't know. I don't even know if that. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? What do you think? I don't think that makes too much sense. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, why would you? Because obviously Declan Rice, I've always said like Thomas Partey was who I wanted. I know not because people say I look like him, but Thomas Partey was the one who I wanted. Can you imagine like if he signed for Chelsea? A lot of people would have used me as a disaster class alternative. That would have been mad. Jesus Christ. You know them ones where they put like disaster class. But now man is waffling, I'm waffling. But at the end of the day, like Declan Rice and like all of that is like, it's just I don't know. I can't get that out of my head, though. I'm sorry. I can't get that out of my head. A lot of people say I have Thomas Partey's type thing. I don't know if it's of the high top I've got. But can you imagine if he dropped the disaster class for Chelsea, fam, and they used my face as the meme? That would have just been something else. Anyways, like a man was saying before he got completely sidetracked, with Declan Rice and this Julian Bellingham thing, I'm like, to be like you, Laurenz, I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about him, but why would the club do that? Can you think of any reason why they would go ahead and do something of that caliber? Because obviously you've got Kante, who is obviously like aging, and like I've said several times, and I will continue to stand by this till the day I die. Kante can't really play too much of that damn position. Like I said, we've seen him against everybody else who was playing quite well. Remember that first 10 minutes against Sheffield United? He was all over the place. He didn't know what to do. Looked absolutely lost. And once you're pressing your DM like that and you can't sort everything out, the rest of the team crumbles. I'm just going to say that right now. Let's see him against Man City, against your Arsenal, but let me not digress too much. So Kante is getting old and he can't really do that position too well. So man is thinking, what's the alternative? Declan Rice, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can sort of hack a Declan Rice. Maybe we use him as a DM for 1, 2, 3 seasons and then we get like an actual DM and just put him as centre back. But at the end of the day, Jude Bellingham doesn't make too much sense. I can't see any benefit in that transfer at all. I'd rather wait for Ethan Ampadu. Do you know what I mean?
We don't even need to wait for Ethan Ampadu. We should have just not loaned him out in the first place. But that is a whole different discussion in itself. Stefan Williams, I'm confused by this because this name looks like a German name, but then Williams is your surname, which is very confusing to me. But he said, I won't like this video if you take the Ferrari cap off the shelf. I don't know exactly if you misspelled because I'm not taking it off. And if you dislike Ferrari, you're a prick. I'm not even taking any hostages, as simple as that. And I think the last thing we're going to discuss, because we've been going for over an hour already, no, pretty much an hour. You know how even now the championship have introduced the 5 substitutes.
We need that rule, bro. We need
exactly.
That.
Do you think the Premier League will add it? And
they
obviously,
have to.
I've just realised that you wanted to, but do you think they will?
They have to. They have to. I'm sorry, they have to. Like they are. It's getting to a point in the season where the clubs are going to make complaints because imagine Liverpool. Look at this squad now. Their squad is shallow. Literally, I don't know how they're going to line up in their next game. It's going to be mad. Do you know what I mean? Imagine losing like Salah, then your whole back line, everybody getting injured left, right, center, catching the thing up and down like it's giving out Christmas chocolate or something. It's mad. So if that's the situation at hand, they're going to need more substitutions. And Chelsea, like Chelsea, can benefit if Lampard decides to use them. You know how he can be with his substitutions. But you get where man is coming from. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
One thing, and I completely agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate. In the game Manchester City against Liverpool, Manchester City used 1 sub, Liverpool used 2 subs. So both managers were moaning about needing 5 substitutes, and they're not even using the 3. So isn't that a bit weird? And mind you, Liverpool, one of their 2 subs was for the injured Trent Alexander-Arnold. So actually tactical substitution and resting players that might, to save them from injury, they only made 1 sub as well. Can you really moan about not having 5 subs if you make 1?
I mean, in fairness, if I was the manager of like one of those 2 teams, and before people come at me, I don't have a UEFA B license, C, D, E, F, G. I don't know anything about management. Yeah, I'm just a fan like you lot, because a lot of people like to say, oh my God, thank God you're not the manager then. But I don't have no managerial experience. I'm just putting my hands up and saying that right now. Only played FIFA, and I haven't played the most recent one. But what's man trying to say at the end of the day? If I was a manager, I feel like if I'm playing against your Manchester Cities or your Liverpools or your Chelseas, I wouldn't really want to change up my game plan too much. I know a lot of the players that Man City and Liverpool have are very niche. And if you change them up, the gameplay is going to change up quite a bit. You know where I'm coming from? If you take out their defensive striker, things change up quite a lot. If you take out Firmino or take out like Salah or something like that, their game style and everything changes completely because it's based quite a lot on the players they have. If you change too many of those players, then it's like, your plans can change. I don't want to lose any points against those teams. However, if you're going to be like a Pep Guardiola, you're battering Newcastle 8-0, 5 substitutions is perfect because you can pull off 5 players at once and put in 5 new players and get people to rest. And I feel like that's when we're going to see them utilize that thing a lot more in the games where they're probably beating people up and then they can get their substitutions. And I feel like the smaller teams can benefit a bit more. But 5 substitutions is not, I mean, like you said, that game with Liverpool and Manchester City, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, that was a bit more different. Or don't you think? That's how I see the whole situation.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like I said, I was just playing devil's advocate. In general, I completely agree. And I think it's outrageous that we have let it get this far in the first place without 5 substitutions. And I get the point that smaller clubs make, that it is just benefiting the bigger clubs. And yes, it certainly would. The bigger your squad is, the better your squad is, the more you can benefit from 5 subs. Because, hey, someone like Burnley, someone like West Brom, they might not have 5 players on the bench that they think they will actually improve us, even if it's only 5 minutes to go. So they might not go for it. But at the same time, you need to look out for the physical well-being of these players. And, they're going through plenty with 3 international break games, a game every 3 days, whether you're in Europe or not. So, it's absolutely crazy that it took this long, and hey, I hope it happens. It might take a little while longer, but I hope it happens because even the pay-per-view stuff, got cut, which I was brilliantly happy about. Didn't expect that to happen, honestly, but it did work. So, I was very, very happy with it. I think I'm going to do one more question. What do you mean Lampard was doing it after the restart last season and was changing games with 5 subs? Abbas be probably commenting towards what you said, what Lampard is like with 5 subs. Actually, Abbas, I'm pretty sure there was very, very few occasions where he actually used all 5 subs. You often use 4, but very, very rarely 5. And I get it, you never know. There could be a late injury, hence why he wants to keep 1 substitution available, which is more understandable when you have 5 subs rather than 3. But even now, very rarely does he actually use all 3 subs, in all honesty. Didn't we against Sheffield only make 1 sub? I feel like we did. Okay, so. This is the last one. And Dami, I will throw it to you first. Predictions for Newcastle.
3-0.
3-0?
Yeah. 3-0.
Away from home, St. James's Park.
Pardon?
Away from home, St. James's Park.
Yep, 3-0 away when we're going to go there, we're going to beat them up and we're going to come back. Clean sheet and that, Mendy going to keep his madness. Oh, but then again, Thiago Silva, I don't know if Thiago Silva is going to play, but I'd back him.
Just imagine he won't.
Oh, I kind of back a clean sheet though. I'd back a clean sheet. But last time I
plays next to Zuma then. Rudiger?
Oh, I beg not. I probably will, but I probably would be. I mean, that's a tough one because obviously you've got Christensen there as well. I don't know, man. I think maybe Rudiger because of like seniority and everything and like how he treated the Tomori situation. Probably going to be Rudiger. What do you think? Rudiger as well?
I think so. I would prefer it for it to be Tomori, but then again, do I? I mean, Tomori has not played in ages. Rudiger at least plays for Germany, so he's some sort of match fitness, I guess. I'm not sure I can back to 3-1. 3-0. I back a 3-1 though. I don't know. I feel like without Thiago Silva, we're always a bit less likely to keep the clean sheet.
That's very fair.
Or 2-0. One of the two. I'm not expecting a 3-goal difference result.
2-0 like Newcastle sounds about right, to be fair. It does sound about right.
It's true. But hey, a dub is all that matters. And as usual, we'll be going for an hour, and now the people are streaming in. 88 people watching now. Hey, if you're here now, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out Dammy on Twitter. Obviously, his link is down in the description. And just watch this back. You missed most of it, but just watch it back. And then turn up for the next one. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of the next streams. So I feel like that would be a big dub from all of you. Let me just check how many likes do we have right now. We have 50 likes. And well, according to this, 88 people watching, and here 84 people watching. So everyone, and I mean everyone, while Demi and I sign out, everyone go down below and smash that like button right now. Like I said already, it does not cost you any money. It does barely cost you any time. Really, none at all, because you're just clicking on a button while you're listening to us talk. So really, you could just go do that while I tell Demi to just say goodbye and, thank him for coming on, which I appreciate and enjoy as always.
What you man all say, listen, I see all the love in the comments. I love you man so much. Obviously, thank you guys for having me on this lovely channel. Let's like this thing up. I'm saying? We need to add in a few more likes. Obviously, you need to watch. If you're just joining into us, you get to see my beautiful face and that guy over there. You get to see the both of us. Like, again, obviously, it's my guy's channel, isn't it? But at the end of the day, thank you so much for letting me on, Laurenz. I appreciate it. Obviously, it's a good time to chat to you as always. I mean, international break is a bit dead, so we felt we might spice up your subscription box a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? We just wanted to bless you, man. Just a little blessing. But yeah, at the end of the day, thank you guys for watching. And Laurenz, I'll pass it back to you to close out.
Appreciate it. Obviously, thank you for coming on. Like I said already, check him out on the Twitter. It's some good content, I'm telling you. For the good content, check it out. And I appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. Of course, the more the merrier. So if you're here now, like I said already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you drop the like button. Comment your thoughts if you're watching this later on. And, appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see you next time.